Hello, you probably heard about the Mercedes Benz truck pack coming out on September the 9th. What if I told you there's a way you could sample that right now, kind of, without paying for it and without spending a whole lot of game money? And what I'm talking about is a mod on the Mod Hub right now, the Unimog Mod for all platforms. Let me just show you some of the details of this. Now, it's not exactly the same because the one that comes out on September the 9th is going to have more horsepower. But let me show you these things. Okay, once you load it from the Mod Hub, for some reason there's two. Okay, the one that says 1250, 1450, 1650 has all these things you can get on there, including a crane. And we're going to look at that. And you can have different backs on it, including a flatbed bale trailer. So let's just take a look. Once you get it loaded, it's going to be under trucks. So you go down to trucks. We're going to pick this one, the one with the 50 on it. Okay, and look at some of the setups. The default is 155 horsepower for about $35,000. Okay, you can reduce that down to 125, and you can get this truck for $26,700. Now that doesn't include anything on the back. Okay. However, if you want to get the crane, check on what's available on that. The crane is $22,100. Okay, and it does a couple of things. So it's almost as much as the truck. You also have a front hydraulic you can get, different sizes of dumps, 1,500 to 3,800. This one's 2,500 to 6,000. So I would just get the bigger one. Okay, let's look at the horsepower real quick. So you go from 125, 136, 155, 163, 211, 241 is the max horsepower. So that's pretty cool. You could pull some stuff with this. And the cool thing is, it has attachments on the back like a tractor. Okay, of course you can pay with the tires. You can put bigger tires on it, wider tires, narrower tires, and so forth. Just like a lot of other pieces of equipment. You can change some of the little stickers there on the exhaust. You can put beacon lights on top. It has a working little roof on the top. You can open and close that. You can open and close the passenger's door. There's some other decals you can put on there. You have all kind of protective stuff you can get. Look at that. In case if you're riding through the brush or whatever. Kind of cool. Okay, you can get a little monitor on the inside with the GPS. Now, if you're going to get the crane, you have to go to this choice right here, crane mounting saddle plate, and click crane mounting, or else it's not going to mount. That's $100. Okay, you got right now, this one has rear hydraulics. You can also put it on the front. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So let me show you a couple of configurations here. This one is configured as the crane. And you can do a couple of things with that. One is big bags. Once I get close there, it's going to let me pick up the bag. Now I can lift that and carry that somewhere. Well, you probably don't want to fold it with the bags in there. I guess you could. And then you go somewhere, unfold it. If you have a long way to go. Okay, that's a little sticky. And there you go. But you could swing it up and put it on a truck or something, or whatever you want to do to it. All right, let's try this. The other thing you can do, school hat folds up. Okay, you want your hook of the crane turned like this in order for it to attach. And then it's going to attach. And now, I'll show you this on the menu, but now you have something that you can pick up logs with, which is kind of cool. And it's relatively inexpensive. So the truck was, 26 grand, and then this is 22 for the crane. So it's not a whole lot. And then this little piece there, the log The log grabber there is about $2,100. Let me show you that. So once you have the mod loaded, if you go under forestry over to miscellaneous, you're going to see it all the way over on the end, and that's it there. So for $2,100, it says Unimog on it, so you know you got the right one. And that's used to pick up logs. So those are some of the things you can do with this crane, which is pretty cool. So you can pick up big bags, and you can pick up logs. Now, this one I configured with 125 horsepower. That's why it says 1250 on the front. This one says 1650, but it has 241 horsepower. I'm going to purchase the larger dump here. You can see the capacity up there, 2,500, 5,500, 6,000 with a cover. Okay, so that's what I have on the back. They also have a bale trailer you can get. You're not getting a lot of bales on there because it's not that big. So we have the 6,000 one right here. So you're not going to see it on the truck. The truck doesn't come with it. You pick what you want to go on the back. And just back up into there. Boom, it's connected. Now once you have this, I could hook a trailer to that. I was playing on a map with this puppy with this configuration. And I can get what the trailer holds plus an extra 6,000, and that's a pretty good bit of material. So not a bad deal there. And one of the coolest things about this is you can buy this little truck here for, let me show you the configuration that I have. Okay, I have 241 horsepower, so that's 46.7. Okay, 46.7, and that includes a PTO in the back already. And you got the connections on the front. Now look at the tires on this puppy. You can get bigger ones, but they're kind of like tractor tires. And there's a reason. Because it has a PTO in the back, you can hook it to a seeder or a planter or a plow or a cultivator, and you can go do field work with this thing. How cool is that? For anything that requires 241 horsepower or less, you're able to do it with this deal. And you get a little extra capacity there for running around, you know, pulling a trailer. And it goes faster than a tractor when you're pulling a trailer because it goes like 50 miles an hour. Now, I said it's almost like the one coming out of the DLC. The one of the DLC is going to have the Mercedes Benz truck pack. They're the Unimog 527 to 535, and it's got between 272 to 354 horsepower. So if you like this one, you're going to like that one. And you can get this one too and go ahead and get used to it. But the other one now, the new one, since it's newer, this is an older one. The newer one's going to be $261,000 for the base model. But since this is an older model, you can get into this thing for like $26,500 up to like $51 grand. And it's a pretty sweet deal for that because you got a 241 horsepower equivalent of a tractor and you got a small truck. So, and it goes faster than a tractor. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool little gizmo here. I'm like playing with it. I needed another tractor for my farm. Didn't have a lot of money. I bought this thing for like $50,000 and change with 241 horsepower. I could pull my trailer with extra 6,000 capacity, and it was able to pull a bigger seeder than I had. So there you go. All right, that's all I got. I just want to show you this. These are kind of cool mods. I am Farmer Teacher. Share this with your farming buddies if you think they'd like it too. And I'll see you on the next go round. Bye-bye.